Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tanya. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're a returning guest, welcome back guys. Glad to see you again for this week's video. We are doing videos this week over my experience with losing my prosthetic eye, and so I will be making this video one for that purpose. Some of my other videos that I do though don't have to do with the prosthetic eye, but they have to do with a loss of any, any body or any part. It doesn't really matter which of those. We talk about both here. Sorry guys. The loss of a loved one is the big one that we do talk about. Car accidents, house fires we've talked about. I have a little experience in all of these things because they've all happened to me personally. So that's where I kind of just come in and help. On our live at 7, we take open questions, and then I also go back over questions that I may have missed through the comments throughout the week, the prior week. So if you've left a comment and your comment hasn't been answered, it's not because I'm ignoring you, it's just because I got a little busy or I may not have seen it. So I do go back through those on the live stream. So if I missed your question, you can even comment, hey, you missed my question. Let me know your question again, and then I'll give you my best answer that I can give you for that. We go over a lot of lighthearted content as well and topics. I love to do reviews for the ladies and gentlemen on my groups, especially for, dealing with the prosthetic eye, since I do have that. Makeup tutorials, I don't mind doing those, or even just, what I use on a regular basis for my own face to help me out. I can share all that information with you guys. Just leave me comments and let me know what you want me to do a review on, and I'm there. So just let me know, and I would love to do a review for you guys for any of the products. And I'll go ahead and buy them, and I will let you know after I test them out. You can also email me at titaniumbuiltboo@gmail.com with any questions that you have. And I do want to make a disclosure. I am not an MD by any means. These are just facts that I have based on my own prior personal experience and tragedy with these things. And so I'm just here to serve as a reference and a guide for you guys. We also do giveaways at all of our milestones, so make sure that you check out that About Me section because we're about to hit some milestones here soon, and I love to give out surprise gifts. So make sure you are subscribing as well, hitting that like button. That way I know that you like the content, and I know to make sure I'm putting the right content out there for you guys. And then if you could please just hit the bell notification icon, that way you're alerted to all my new content as soon as it comes out. In video 1, I'm going to tell you guys, explain how I lost my eye, the procedure they had to do to remove my eye, and then also how I was told in life, life kind of like now, what it's like now that I no longer have that eye, and I have multiple other injuries that are life long as well. So I'm just going to dive right on in, so let's get right into it. My story is a little older, it's 9 years, so if the emotions aren't still there, or they were there at one point, but maybe I'm actually feeling a little stronger nowadays, so it's kind of nice to not cry every time I tell my story. So I'm not going to cry, but I just didn't want you guys to feel like I didn't feel any emotions at all or anything like that. I've actually have a fan on me right now because I'm sweating like a crazy woman because I know I'm about to tell this story. So let's get right on into it. I have told my story on this channel before, but it's been a couple of years, so I'm going to try to take myself back there and try to remember how it went in my mind that evening. So there is a little backstory. I was living with my mom, and until things kind of just happened that were out of our control at the time. So, and we also had just moved to a new village. So the village was small, but us being torn apart was huge for us because we had never been apart before. So basically my life at the time was pretty lonely. I didn't have a boyfriend. We had just broke up a few weeks before, and I really didn't have any friends there. So when a friend called, put that in quotes, asking if I wanted to hang out, I was like, of course, yeah. Of course, especially since we were going to see my mom before we went out for the evening, and we were going to go back down to my old town. So I was even more excited because I would get to see old friends, be with my new friend at the same time, and we would all be able to have fun and just gather and just, maybe I'll have a couple drinks, and then go back home, and that would be it for the evening. So just to say I was excited was like an understatement. And I had to wait for a couple weeks before we actually went out. So the excitement just drew, it grew on me. I just was like, I'm so excited to go out and do something. So it was February 9th, 2014. It came and I got ready to go out. I can remember putting on the gray pea coat, brown riding boots, and I always wore heels out. But for some reason that night I said, wear those riding boots. And I really don't know why I wore those, but keep that in mind. I remember seeing my mom. We grabbed some beer to drop off at my apartment before heading down to Chillicothe for the evening, where I was brought up. That's the only really the closest small town to there to really like go out and socialize with and have a couple drinks and hear some decent music and just get to hang out with your friends. And so we were on our way down and we were super excited about going. The night went really well. I remember the lights coming on, us leaving the bar, us getting in the car, and I vividly remember seeing on his dashboard the little orange seatbelt marker going off, like the airbag saying that it was on, because I had put my seatbelt on. Weird thing to remember, I guess. My friend had told me in the beginning of the night that he would not be drinking but a couple of beers. No liquor, since he would be driving us back home. And it's a drive upwards like 30 minutes to my house, my new house from Chillicothe. We were heading back home, coming up on some S-curves that I'm very familiar with because I'm from that area. I actually grew up not even a mile down the road from those S-curves. So, but we had driven that same route on our way into Chillicothe, the same route we were going back home. So I figured it was fine. We were coming up on the S-curves and there's a hill that has a slight curve to the right. And as I was telling Tyler this, although this is the same way we came earlier the evening, I'm just used to telling everybody that it goes slightly to the right. He didn't see the curve, I guess. And he went right off of the road into the grass. It seemed like we were driving in the grass for years before everything went black. And it was black. Like, I can't even do it. I can't even make it that dark in here right now. There was like no headlights, no street lights. You're in the woods because we had went back into the woods. You couldn't even see us really from the road. And it was scary, I don't remember a lot, but I remember the smell of the airbags, like the cold February night, and the feeling of just like dread of like, oh my gosh, we are in so much shit. Like we're in trouble. Yeah. And that's all I really remember. But this is what I've been told by the EMS officers and witnesses that were on the scene the evening. Apparently, the engine of the car had come straight in on my feet, my legs, from my knees, below my knees down. And it's got me stuck into the car for about two and a half hours. I was stuck in the car. And I guess I just kept telling the EMT over and over again. I just kept saying, Mom, Mom, Mom. And my dad had died in a car accident a few years prior to this. So pretty sure I was probably saying that because I wanted to fight. I'm not 100% on that because I wasn't all the way there, but I'm sure that's why I was saying that. They did get me out of the car they used the jaws of life, and they couldn't get me out of the car with the jaws of life, so they had to use a laser to get me out of the car, to extract me out from the car. And we had to bring that down from Columbus, so that's why I was in the car, and I was stuck for so long as well. I was then taken to our local hospital to be stabilized, and then I was life flighted to a hospital up at OSU for medical attention for the trauma that I endured. I woke up the evening/morning. I saw my family that was there, and I remember before falling back asleep that I wasn't at our hometown hospital. I knew it had to be pretty bad if I was at a hospital where I didn't even really know where I was. But the adrenaline of the night and the medication, I guess, of the night had kicked in, and I was pretty sedated, so I fell right asleep. No problems falling asleep there. My injuries included traumatic head injuries, facial injuries, lacerations to my eye, laceration to my spleen, 3 broken ribs, crushed tibia, fibula bones, crushed my wrist. I'm sure there's more. I ended up collapsing a lung, so we had to pump that bad boy back up. And now I have metal throughout my whole body. So, and have my mouth wired shut for 8 weeks. So it was a pretty traumatic experience. Had to learn how to walk again. So those were some of my injuries overall. So if you want to know anything about those injuries, if you have those injuries, you want to learn more, let me know. I don't mind making stories about, I don't mind making videos about those as well, or telling my story about those injuries as well. But how I was told was, my mom told me at the time, I had my eye covered up with a metal star, she told me, and bandages, but I had no clue that I didn't even have vision in my eye. The doctors looked at my eye, and I had a laceration in my cornea and sclera with perforating UV exposure. So I pretty much had, basically I had cuts all over my eye. They told me they were 2 to 3 millimeter cuts, but they were too many to keep and repair the actual eye. The surgery they ended up doing that night was an inclination, I can never say it right, but of the eye with the implants muscles not attached. That surgery is inclination, is when they remove your whole eye globe while still trying to preserve the muscles in the form of your eyeball, like the eye that's around it. They then put an implant to sit where the eye used to be, so it's like that's more of a round, implant. And then this is done at surgery, and your prosthetic is done months later after you've recovered from your surgery. So after your surgery, they'll remove your eye, they suture that shut, and then you'll be like that for a few months until they custom make your eye for you. That way it gives the eye time to heal from all those surgeries that they just got done performing on your eye when taking it out and then putting in the implant. So my mom was the one who told me. She wanted to be the one to tell me, basically. She came in and she ripped it off like a Band-Aid. She said it more like a question, kind of like, Tanya, you lost your eye, right? And I thought I had heard someone say earlier that I lost my eye, one of the nurses, but another nurse came in and she grabbed her, so I thought I heard her wrong maybe, but it was apparently because my mom wanted to be the one to tell me. So I told my mom, yes, I knew that I lost my eye, and that I was still excited to have my legs. They were completely wrapped up and looked horrible, she said, but I guess I was excited to have them. And that's what I said to her. That might have been the dilaudid talking, but basically that's how I found out. Life now. Let's go back. The first 6 months after being home from the hospital were probably the hardest. They were shit. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It was terrible. I had the feeling of not feeling like I had friends, like I wasn't maybe good enough. Your self-esteem is very low, and there's nothing that no one can do about it because nobody's living the life but you now. Like nobody can take your eye from you or give you their eye. So it's really on you. And that's like the first thing. I feel like you have to figure that out in your mind. Like you got to figure it out quick too. Like this is you now. And what are you going to do about the new you? And just got to stay positive as much as you can. It's hard. It sucks. But you do get through it, especially if you have a good support system. And if you don't have a good support system, there are support systems out there. There really are. There are local support systems even. You can go to groups, things like that. But even when you've asked people to even put the eye patch on or something, or, bandage up your leg and try not to walk on it if you have you're missing a leg or something, and people can't even attempt to try to do it. They don't even attempt to even try. And it just, that's the kind of stuff that used to get to me, but it still does, but I don't ever ask anybody to try anymore. So that's the difference. But all you have to do is just make up for the day before. Try to make up for the day before. Like just try to make the day better, I feel like, you know, when I say that. If you only made your bed yesterday, write that down, mark that off. You know that you did that. Next day, wake up, make breakfast. Or maybe you don't want to make breakfast, that's too much. Wake up and wash your blankets and sheets. Or take your dogs out instead of having like the kids take them out back outside the backyard or whatever. Or, you know, just take it on a walk, take your dog on a walk or something, you know, just something small. Those little things will help, and they will help improve your mind. And the one thing I can tell you to do that's really stupid, that I shouldn't have to tell people to do this, but I had to be told by a doctor. My mom told me 50 million times, never listened to her. Get your stuff ready for the night before. Whenever you have something to do, make sure you get your stuff ready the night before. Your clothes, your jewelry, everything. Whatever you can think of, get it ready. Because when you have loss of vision in one eye, it takes you even longer to get ready. And then you're like doing circles because you don't know where anything's at. And that's another thing, put it back. If you get something out, put it back. Like, I am so OCD, it's ungodly, but it's helped me help other people, you know, helps me stay sane. So those are little like pieces of advice I really think that you guys should just try it out, especially, you know, getting your stuff ready the night before. I wrote everything down also, like doctor's appointments and everything that I did. I would write it all down to make sure that I remember that I did that stuff for that day, because even those little things are huge. I've canceled so many doctor's appointments because I don't even want to go. Nope, don't even want to be there. So now life is great. I own a boutique. I get to hang out with you guys on Tuesdays and sometimes throughout the week, and I get to spread my word, and I really wouldn't want anyone else to do what I'm doing. So I feel like I got a heart for it. So if you did like today's video, because that's all I really have for today, then please hit the like button and hit that subscribe button for your girl. I don't care if you have to smash it, pound it, poke it, swipe it. You know me, I don't care, as long as you just don't break your computer, because then you won't be able to watch my videos. And then don't forget to hit the bell icon so that you're alerted to all of my new content that comes out every Tuesday. And then sometimes throughout the week, we go live Tuesdays at 7. So I will see you Tuesday at 7. Bye, guys.